Hello guys and welcome. I am back with another video. This time it's a tutorial. I'll try to keep it brief so you can faster get back to try doing this yourself. A few days ago I posted this picture on Arduino and people really seemed to like it and requested that I did a tutorial on how to achieve this kind of effect. And so here I am, 7 AM in the morning. We're making a tutorial for you guys. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, so the first thing I'm going to say, if you haven't noticed already, we are in Photoshop. This image is digitally painted. It has actually become quite a trend to take pictures of your traditional sketch in their environment, on your table or somewhere in your room, and then paint on top of it digitally. I think it's popular because it kind of breaks the barrier between the digital and the traditional art and the medium that digital art is able to create and then bring it into the traditional world. And the barrier that is broken down there's something about it that's attractive, at least I think. And recently I also saw that a lot of people started to play with lights. So like creating fake lights in their digital painting process, but still on the traditional image. And that creates some kind of illusion that breaks the barrier down even more. And I think that's the reason why this image got so popular on Arduino. So it's actually quite easy. You obviously need to have a digital painting software. I'm using Photoshop and that's the only one that I've ever used, so I wouldn't say that this works in the exact same steps on, for instance, Paint Tool SAI, sorry, but I'm pretty sure that you can achieve the same effect, even if the layering styles and such are called something else. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to make a sketch, obviously a traditional sketch. And the important part here is that you can't scan it. You need to take a picture of the sketch. You need to include the environment that the sketch is in. Because if you just scan the image on your scanner, you break that, you destroy that illusion that we're going to put digital on top of traditional, because then it will just be a digital drawing with traditional lines. We need to have the environment around it as well. So take a picture of it. I took it in daylight because heck, I can always just make it night or at least darker. So this is the picture that I took, and for starters I'm just going to show you the process here. I created another layer, a blue layer on top of this, and set it to multiply, and then I achieved this image. I just made it darker with the color, and this is going to serve as my background. I don't actually use this one down here, it's just there for safekeeping. And this adjustment layer right here is just a color tone because I ended up making the light from the little globe cyan colored, and I thought this wasn't cyan enough, so I made it a little more cyan. Because the color that your light is will affect the surroundings around the light. So obviously if you're going to make this look just somewhat natural, you should have the light color and the background color somewhat similar. The next thing I did was that I just started to paint what was supposed to be inside the globe, inside this round thing, because I knew that's the part that I was going to light up. And this is actually my color layer for, it's not only the head actually, it's just the girl's color layer. And you can see the blending mode is normal. And the reason why you're still able to see the lines on top on the final version is because the first thing actually before you color you're going to do is that you are going to select all, for instance like this, the areas that you have with line art. That's just this part. You're going to cut it out and put it on top of the whole thing. So this up here, no, not that one, I'm sorry, line art top, of course. This one here is actually my line art that I cut out and put on top. Once you have your line art cut out, as I showed you, you're going to, in this case at least, set the blending mode to color burn. This just means that when I start putting colors underneath it, the line art's going to change color according to the color beneath it. So just make sure that the line art, the new line art that you cut out, is on top of your colors. What's going on here, Creative Cloud? Are you trying to annoy me while I'm making a tutorial? Okay, so after this, I started to color, and that's the layer I showed you before, the color girl layer down here, which, as you can see, has a normal blending time. That means that it doesn't blend with the other layers. This is just me. This is just me that was painting on top of it with my brushes. Find my brush here. Where is it? You know that when sometimes your pen pressure just stops working? Ah man, that's annoying. I need to restart. Good, now the pen pressure is working again. So as I was just going to show you, if I turn off the line art up here, you can see these are just colors. These are just colors blended together and added on top of each other and so on. And you have to remember here that the most glowing parts, if you look over here in the color, the most glowing parts will be very close to white, because we perceive white as the ultimate brightest. So the whiter, the brighter. Wow, I just came up with that. That was so bad. And you can see also, because I have the line art set to color burn, it changes the color a bit. It actually intensifies the color a bit, which is exactly what I wanted. And you can see, because for instance here with the line art, because I went over these places with a red color, the line art turned red as well. That's exactly the effect that I wanted to achieve, and you can see it here on the fingers, for instance. They are red here because they are red here because I went over this part with a red brush, but down here where I wanted them to remain dark, I just didn't went over it. You can see it actually right there. It's because I made a whoopsie. I made a little mistake. It's actually pretty clear there. So you're just going to have this color layer underneath your line art with the color burn blending mode, and then you're just going to paint it like you want it. So that seems a bit glowing in itself, alright, with all the bright colors and the white. We also need a light source, which will be this globe. And for that I have two layers. I have a glow on top and a glow on bottom. And the glow bottom is actually this. Again, its blending mode is normal, and all I did here actually was take some kind of brush that is very soft. I have, where is it? This one. I picked a cyan color and painted, and the places where I wanted it to glow more, I just went further to the white. And then I wanted it to go not nearly as much out here by the edge. Alright? So it's just, if I turn this off, it's just another color layer. But because you're seeing it on a dark background like this, and especially included in an environment, it looks like it's glowing, but it's actually just bright colors. That's approaching white. So we're actually almost done now. It's actually pretty easy, as I said. So then I just have a little layer here for head shadows. I wanted to just have a little shadows in the image, but you don't even need it. You can leave it out. And then there is the glow top. That's the glow that I've put on top of the image that I also wanted to put on top of outside of the globe. So it's this one. This one is set to overlay. Just because I didn't like what it looked like on the normal blending mode, I put it to overlay. You can just activate this window and then use your arrow keys to go down and up until you find like the one that you need. there's no rule for which one you should use. I just picked the one that I like the best. So I have a glow underneath, which is more like a cropped area where you want the light to emit from, in this case the bubble. And then you have the glow top layer, which is the light that emits from the bubble and out onto the surface. Then I made a bubble outline. And I just made this to kind of emphasize the border of the bubble and to make it look like it's containing the glowing objects. And then there's some stars inside, and all I did here was that I painted them with white, I think. And then I put, let's see here, the color overlay is somewhat close to light, and then I made a glow effect on it. That's pretty much it. And then I added some rim light as well. This is one of the things I think is important. It's kind of like just a thin line of light that hits the surface of, for instance, her skin, because she's holding up the bubble with her hands. And here I'm also going to mention that if you look at her hands, you can see that the light is hitting the surface of the hands, or the fingers that is turned towards the bubble, and there are dark on the other side. And this helps to emphasize the illusion that she exists in the traditional world, but all the light emitting is digital. And the last thing I did is just a really small thing. You can see here and my pencil, these little white spots here, they are actually pure white in the image. And I decided to emphasize them by making them more in the yellow light. That's the light coming from her hair here. But it's optional, you don't have to do it. But it does look like that the pencil is more included in the drawing now. And you could argue that I should maybe have done it over here on the metallic parts as well. But there's really nothing more to it. This is how I did it. You make the background dark, you cut out the line out, I put it on top. I chose color burn as my blending method, as my blending mode. You put colors underneath, and remember, the further to the white the color is, the more it's gonna look like it's glowing. Then I have the crop light, the light source, and the light emitting from it. I had some shadows in her head. You don't need that if you don't want to. Made an outline for the cropped area, the bubble that's supposed to light up. I put some lighting effects on the stars. Put some rim light on to make it look like the light hit the surface. And then I made my pencil shine. That's really it. That's how we go from this to this. I really hope that helped. It's still just 7:30 in the morning. I'm a little tired, but I won't have time to do it otherwise. So thank you for hanging in there. I really hope to see a lot of this art in the future. If you use this tutorial to make some yourself, please post it in the comments, because I'd love to see it. Really, I would. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments as well, and I will answer them. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.